Hey y'all, what's up? This is Rosie, and I wanted to talk about something fun today, and that is about recess and playgrounds. Now, the reason these are such fond memories, is because it was what we looked forward to as children. Now, our playground equipment was different, and our play equipment basically was different. Dodgeballs. The dodgeballs seemed like they were filled up with air and rocks because they were hard. And we were made to throw them hard at our opponents, who were made to stand in the middle as the ball bounced from one hand to the other, trying to get the person our target basically. And sometimes we would get hit in the face. I don't think I ever got hit in the face, but I got hit in the hip and the leg a lot. But by the time I was about 16 years old, 15, 16 years old, I became kind of a pro at it. And I learned how to dodge the dodgeballs better. I used to play dodgeball with my best friend, Justine, and her brother and her dad, and her. And I would stand in the middle and I would just lift my leg, or I would lean to the side, or just basically paying attention to where the ball was aiming so I could dodge it. And yeah, I became a pro at it. But back then in school, we didn't have those essential skills. On the playground, we had a lot of fun out there. I used to love when we didn't have to stay in the gym and try to dodge a ball coming at our faces. When I went to Gibson Elementary School, and I talked about this school in at least one other video, and we would basically, the first piece of playground equipment we would go for was the slide. All of us went for the slide. We didn't see anything wrong with it. We loved the slide and we were protected from it. And the reason I'm putting so much emphasis on this is because no one gave any thought to how dangerous a slide could be. They were made out of some kind of metal. I've taken to calling it these days the plastic, or the metal griddle of death. The breakfast griddle of death. Yeah, that's what I call it. Because it was just this big, huge, slanted piece of metal that we all slid down, and we giggled and we laughed and we had fun. But one day when I was about 7, I was probably even 8 or 9, I can't remember, I went down the slide in a pair of shorts. No big deal. I'd done this many other times, even during the summer, and it didn't affect me. But this particular day, I went down the slide and I screamed the entire way down. Why? Because it felt like I was receiving second or third degree burns on my backside and on the back of my legs. Thankfully, no blisters came up, but I thought for sure that there would, and it hurt for a good while. And from that day to this one, and I'm 48 now, I never went on another slide again. Another piece of playground equipment that I kind of stayed away from because of one incident that happened when I was 8 is the merry-go-round. Now, the merry-go-round was not built for children initially, but through some workarounds and redesigns, it eventually became a children's playground toy. And there was always one person who liked to spin it too hard and too fast where the other kids would scream. I hated it because I always got dizzy. I never liked the merry-go-round, but I would go on it a few times just to see if I could see what my friends saw in it that was so wonderful. So one day my mom and all my aunts got all of us kids, and there were about 9 of us at that time, but they got all of us kids and walked us to a local park, and it was Avondale Park. Before we went across the street to Avondale, we were at a store called Munchie's. That store has been there for maybe 50 years or more. It was there before I was even born. My mom used to go there as a teenager. Munchie's is still there now. But anyways, we all went to Munchie's and we got some Slurpees. And as I was finishing my blue Slurpee, my cousins decided, let's go on the merry-go-round. And I said, no, I don't want to go on the merry-go-round. I hate the merry-go-round. I always get dizzy and sick, so I'm just going to sit this one out. Oh, come on, Ross. So, giving in to peer pressure, because they did that a few times, they said that a few times, I went. And I got in my little spot, held onto the handlebars, closed my eyes, and waited for it to be over. And the boy that spun it too hard and too fast was my cousin. Now, of my cousins, I'm the second oldest, and he is the first oldest. But anyway, he just did that, and all of my screams and all of my cousins' screams. You know, I didn't scream in delight. They did. I was screaming for him to stop because I just felt myself getting dizzy. So finally, I calmed down. The merry-go-round stopped, and I slowly got off. My aunts looked at me. My cousins looked at me. My aunts were asking, Roz, are you alright? And my cousin said, you look different. And as soon as they said that, they had to jump back because I bent over at the waist, holding my stomach, and I had a blue icy. They still had their ices within them. I did not. So, yeah, I never went on another merry-go-round, nor did they ask me to. Another piece of playground equipment that I had a bit of beef with, but I didn't really stay away from them if they were on a playground, but at school, no, was the seesaw or the teeter-totter. At school, I would go on it, and for some reason, the person who went on the other side of it was somehow heavier than me. Sometimes we would just be there mid-air, so we were like the same size, maybe. I don't know, but if they were heavier than me, they quite often let me off first. And then I would just carefully slide off of it and then step to the side and try to hold it to where they wouldn't fall down, because I didn't want them to get hurt trying to get off it themselves. Well, one particular day I didn't move fast enough because, like I said, this person was heavier than me and I couldn't hold it. That seesaw was made out of wood and it scratched the absolute hell out of my stomach. Didn't like that too much. But if it was made out of plastic and it was on a playground and it was colorful and fun, I went on it and it was okay. It was fun. It was cool. My favorite piece of playground equipment to this very day, and if I see one and went to a park now, I would most definitely toddle towards it, is the swing. I love the swings. Even when I remember when I was 7 years old, I was on the playground and the house across the street from the playground was on fire, and it scared me because my mom and I lived with her best friend in an apartment right behind and kind of across the alley from that house. But it didn't jump the fence or anything, and it didn't. The fire didn't go into the alley into those apartments, so we were fine. But at the time I was looking at it, it was scary. It was a big, huge house fire. It was a 2 or 3 story house. But other than that, I was never triggered going on a swing. As a grown-up, though, this is a fun memory. My best friend at the time that I worked with, because we were adults, we went to the park with an acquaintance of ours who was also a coworker. Now, my friend and I, we were off that day. Our coworker had to go to work a little bit later, so we just went to Eastlake Park. And there's a little story I want to do about Eastlake Park it was interesting, and I found out about it a couple weeks ago. But anyway, we went to East Lake Park and we went on the swings, and we were just talking, laughing, talking about when we were kids and how we used to love to swing. Our acquaintance told us about how when she was a kid she would always lean back and hit her head. And so we just swung for a few more minutes, and then suddenly to our left we heard, "Ow!" We looked over and asked our acquaintance, "What's wrong? What happened?" Lo and behold, the heifer leaned back and hit her head. And I was trying to hold in my laugh because I knew it wasn't right to laugh at something like that. My bestie at the time said, "Well, I guess you won't do that anymore, huh? Hee hee hee." And yeah, so why are you going to tell us about a story that used to happen to you as a kid and then do the exact same thing as an adult, not even a minute later? But yeah, that's my thing. The playgrounds, they were not built for the weak. Only the strong survived. And that's how it was for recess as well. Only the strong survived, because we were built different back then. I'm not saying kids today are weak. They're not. But I've seen some broken limbs from the monkey bars, okay? Even my oldest, who is 26 now, hurt their tailbone really, really badly. Probably fractured a bone on the monkey bars as a child. Had calluses on their hands. Only the strong survived, y'all. So, yeah. But anyways, I'm going to go. Tell me about some of your memories on the playgrounds and at recess. And what were some of your favorite games? And your favorite things to do. Maybe some of the parks you used to go to. Just tell me. I'm nosy, I'm curious, and I want to know. But right now, you guys, I'm going to go. As usual, you will see donations links in the description. You will find my PayPal, Cash App, and GoFundMe links. If you would consider clicking on those and helping me out, I would appreciate it a great deal, and you will be helping us out more than you could ever possibly realize, and I thank you in advance. A wise man once said, "You have to build your tribe one person at a time." If you would like to be a part of the tribe, hit that subscribe button and become a part of the tribe, no matter what generation you're from. I would be so glad to have you. Thank you so much for wasting time with me. I love you guys a lot. I hope to see y'all on the next upload. Bye for now.